All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Finish the Story. I am your host, Keegan Ray. I'm joined by my producer, Mr. Trent Ludzak, as always.
Hello.
Happy Friday, man. Well, actually, it's Monday for us, but it feels good
we
when
do
I put
this
it
every
out.
time.
When I put it out and we watch it, I'm like, that is nice. That is nice.
This is always the worst part of the intro, where you always don't know what day it is, ever. Man, you got to get your shit together, buddy.
Arguably the best part of the intro.
Anyway.
Hey, man, we got a guest today. I'm excited. We got a guest today. So, welcome to the podcast, Miss Kelcey, Lorraine.
Hi.
It's good to see you, man. How you been?
Living the fucking dream. It
Yeah.
definitely isn't mine, but
Yeah, somebody else's.
yeah.
Say that. That's that restaurant talk. When we walk in, somebody's like, "How you doing?" Just living the fucking dream.
Get me out of here, please.
Not sure if it's mine yet. Yeah. So, man, it was good. I ran into you the other night, man. We were having fun. We're sitting out on Ben's porch. Shout out to Ben, though. Cheers to Ben right now. We're sipping on Ben's blend right now. So we got some Bali. Trent made some cold brew out of our buddy's coffee that he roasts. So shout out to Ben, man. Thank you. Yeah. I think we need to do a whole segment where we just have Ben's blend and just like call Ben on the phone and he can tell us about the coffee and give us the notes.
Talk us through your coffee, man.
Yeah, talk us to the coffee, Ben. Give us the tasting notes. But yeah, I was thinking about it. Yeah, we used to work together. How many years ago? Like, what year was that when we worked together? I have no idea. I was trying to think about it.
12, 13 maybe?
Yeah, 2012, 2013.
At
so
least.
yeah, so we worked together. I'll set the scene for everybody, and then we can start rolling through some of these stories at the restaurant. So we're working at this sports bar that they're opening up, and I'm not gonna start by saying their name, but I'm sure as the podcast goes on, I don't give a shit. Fuck them. Tell me you didn't do these things. You know, sit in front of
Love
a
you,
jury.
man.
I'll
of
be
our
on the
peers.
lookout for the slips.
Yeah, yeah, we'll get the timestamps in case we got to edit some things out. No, but we worked at this place that was opening up, right? It's a sports bar. It's gigantic. It's like this huge place. It's actually where Twin Peaks is now on Bear Parkway. So if you go to Kennesaw, it's where Twin Peaks is. So it's that giant building, giant patio. So
Worst location in the world.
Worse. You couldn't turn into it from the fucking street, so you couldn't turn into it from Bear Parkway. You couldn't turn into it from Busby. So you had to
And
do
if you pass the turn,
Yeah.
you were on 75
Yep.
north.
So people who didn't know how to turn into it were on 75. Then they had to get off on the highway. And so people came in pissed. Just already fucking irritated, dude. But it was this this is how poorly managed this place was, that they opened the building with no decorations on the wall. Not one decoration, dude. They opened it up just bare fucking bones. They're just like, I mean, we need to get it open. It was just like, bro, put a fucking jersey on the wall. Like, at least go to Target and get like one Falcons poster. You
They
know?
could have at least left Smokey Bones' decorations up.
Yeah, I know, right? They could have done something. Anything.
Knock the dust
Instead,
off.
they spent the money on cocaine. You know, like that's definitely what they spent the money on. No, so we're working at this fucking place, and it's just a nightmare. And it's like 27 girls, and then me and this dude that looked like an Abercrombie model. You know, it was just like, what the fuck am I? I remember asking my manager one night, I'm like, why did y'all hire me? You know, like, why did y'all leave? He goes, well, somebody's got to move the kegs, dude. You know, somebody has to. I was like, God damn it. I mean, they would do a lineup where this dude would come out of the office. He'd come out of the office. He'd be like, all right, everybody, we need to line up. And he would go down the line and just look at these girls and be like, absolutely not. Your tits are hanging out. They'd be like, I got to make money. He's like, no way. Like, to go put on something else. It was insane, dude.
Do you even have underwear under?
Yeah, yeah, like, I can visibly see you're not wearing underwear. Like, that's inappropriate, bro. Yeah, so Kelcey bartended at this place. How long did you work there?
I worked there.
Yeah, make sure you're talking to the mic.
I worked there for probably a minute. Maybe, I don't know. Were we even open a year?
I think maybe a year. Long enough to do a Christmas party. That's what I remember. I remember being like, if we make it to Christmas, this party's going to be out of fucking control.
Out there.
I mean, it was so much fun. It really was a fun place to work, but literally it was like something off of Waiting. So you were talking about the other night. I totally forgot about this. Let's tell everybody about the key game. So they started this game where our manager would always leave his keys out. So everybody started this game where they would steal his keys.
So they're the manager's key. So they're the only key to the office, key to the money, key to everything. So these keys would just be laying around randomly. So to teach a lesson, we started hiding these keys. And it started real innocent at first. Like, they would just be moved to another central location or whatever the case may be. Well, then it started getting a little brutal. And needless to say, I remember one time specifically, there's like a salad sitting up in the expo window. And I think it's the person who was running expo at that night. And he's like, whose fucking salad is this? It's dying in the window and da-da-da-da-da. And they're like, oh, it's probably just dead food, but someone's missing it. We probably shouldn't throw it away.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't throw it away. That's what everybody kept saying.
I definitely don't throw it away, man. Don't do that. So I want to say it's the end of the night. I don't know if he actually threw it away in the trash can or whatever the case may be. Someone had to finally tell him, dude, they deep fried your fucking keys.
He did throw it away. So he threw it away. And then somebody was like, yo, that's fucked up. Because if they take the trash out, we're not going to be able to lock up. And I'm talking like, bro, they would let you just sit at the bar and you just be sitting there 2 hours after you're done. Like, guys, it's not fucking funny. Like, I need to leave. It'd be your car keys. You couldn't even leave.
My dogs have been locked up for 16 hours. I got to go home.
Nobody'd even look at you. You'd be like, where are my keys? Nobody make eye contact. So finally, they're like, you got to tell them because they're going to take the trash out. So they're like, yo, it was on that salad. So then he has to go through they deep fried his keys. So they fucking battered it, fried his keys and put it on a salad and put it up in the window for him so that he took it out the window like, whose fucking food is this all night? Like, he's holding his keys all night, has no idea.
While he's like complaining, where the fuck are my keys at, bro?
Yeah.
Right in front of your face. Right under your nose, man.
What is this dish? It was hilarious. Then he had to dig through all that food and like rip it through the fry. It was awesome, dude.
What about the key in the 5-gallon ranch bucket?
Oh my God. Diabolical. So they would take it, and what would they do? They would weigh it.
They put it in a ramnikin, like one of those ramnikin cups. They weighted it, tied a string to it, weighted it, dropped it in one of those 5-gallon ranch buckets, and then left it in the cooler. Who in their right mind would ever think to go digging through a 5-gallon ranch bucket for their key?
Dig through the 5-gallon ranch bucket, so people would have to go get a fucking like a garbage bag, like you're reaching into a cow's ass,
yes.
And you have to fucking dig down into this ranch, and you don't know which ranch it's in. Like only we
One
know.
of that 12 5-gallon buckets
like
of dressing back there.
They would like mark it with like a black light marker. You had to go back there with the $100 bill thing. It was awesome, dude.
If they even liked you enough to work it.
And I was about to say that if they liked you enough. Dude, that was the place that I went outside one time and everybody was outside and they're all like standing in this line and they're like passing a joint back and forth. And I'm like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Like, I come out to take out trash and they're all standing up at this, and you look down on the floor, they have a line drawn with chalk, and they're like, that's the camera line.
You want to hit, man?
Yeah, so
step over here.
Yeah, step over here though, disappear.
Well, to the left.
Yeah. I mean, every restaurant I know that has cameras, everybody knows where the cameras aren't. It takes one day when you're doing checkouts in the office where you're watching the boss's computer going, okay.
And don't let those cameras get moved because everybody's got a mass test. Hey, cameras are moved.
The cameras got moved. Dude, one time in Savannah, we worked at this place, right? Everybody was boozing. It was a brunch place. Everybody's drinking, like on the staff. And our manager he just got bumped up to manager. So he was a server with us. He was like the first day he was a manager, he came behind the bar. He's like, what's in that to-go glass? I was like, the same shit that was in yours a week ago. Like, you taught me how to do this. Like, you taught me where the cameras are. I don't want to hear a fucking word from you, dude.
Fucking
like,
narc now?
Yeah, no way, bro. So we had this party upstairs in the party room. It's like this old lady, and she fucking falls hard, like bust her ass. She like got up to go to the bathroom. So they're like, oh my God. So I just hear one of the managers going, oh my God, we have to review the tapes. And everybody's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I saw it. We don't need to review the tapes. So I had to go up to my buddy and I was like, hey man, yo, you have to do it. And he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, you have to watch that tape and get the timestamp. Do not let them watch it. And he's like, Keegan, how bad is it? I was like, bad. We're all fired. Like the whole staff, bro. It's bad. That's where you whisper it. You're like, it's bad.
I ain't even gonna say
Dude, that was the place that like it got out of control at that place. That place was crazy. They had like it was a super clean Sunday where they would just like feed us and then give us drinks, and then one guy fucked it up for the whole company because he like DUI'd and then came back to work and made a scene at work. I've never understood that. Like if I'm drunk, I'm like, get me away from my job.
I don't need to be embarrassing myself here.
No, on a day off, I would never. You know what I'm saying? I would never. You would never catch me coming back into my place of work. We had a manager one time that came back in and projectile vomited at the bar. It was like, bro, you're in trouble.
See, and that's the kind of luck that I get. If there's a 1 in a million odd, I've got it. But it ain't going to be good luck.
No. It's like not the good kind. I'm not winning the scratch off lottery. I'm getting puked on behind the bar.
I'm getting cancer at 24 years old and my titties chopped off,
damn.
bro.
I know. It's rough. Hey, but you know what? You beat it.
Hey, I'm here.
You beat it.
I'm here.
I think that's a testament to your character.
Definitely can't give up now.
No, hell no. We'll borrow time now. It's plus some extra innings, babe. I like this.
This is taxing, man.
No. Just got to keep doing this over and over and over. It's every day. I'm like, Jesus Christ, again.
It's like I'm supposed to thank God that I'm back here to fucking pay bills and deal with you assholes.
You're like, damn it. I got to pay rent again? Fuck. So my favorite story that from when we worked together was one time I was on a party with you. And we're outside. We're on the patio. We had this big table. So we're going around and we're trying to take drink orders, right? So you're taking drink orders. I'm trying to do the other side of the table. And I can hear as I'm taking drink orders this guy. And I'm like, immediately when I start hearing him, I'm like, this is going to be a problem. Like, she is not going to fucking deal well with this. Like, she's not going to love this. Because the guy's just being like a drunk asshole. So he's sitting at the table. He's being a drunk asshole. So as you're taking orders, he's like, I'll have a Jack and Coke. Well, she's like going on to the other tables. And the guy's like, hey, before you go ahead and do all this bullshit with the appetizers, can you just bring me my drink? Kelcey looks at him and goes, yeah, hold on. Will you get the rest of these drinks? So she just leaves. I'm like, what the fuck? She just left me with like a 20 top. I got to get the rest of these drinks. Like, where the fuck is she going? So then all of a sudden, dude, she comes back with a kid's cup with a lid and a little funny straw.
It's got dinosaurs all over it. Bendy straw.
Yeah. She's got a coloring book and crayons. She slams it down on the table, slams this drink down, and she goes, hey, you're going to act like a kid? Then I'm going to treat you like a fucking kid. And I was just like, oh, no. Like, I looked around at the rest of the table like, how is this about to go over? The table died, dude. They all started dying laughing. They were like, oh, shut the fuck
We've been
up.
begging someone to put this motherfucker in his place for the last,
We've been dealing with him all day, bro. We've been at the pool, boo. Like, everybody was so over his shit. It was amazing. I was like, that is, and we got tips so good. Everybody loved it. And he just sat there just wallowed in his fucking roast. Like, I mean, there's nothing you can say then. There's nothing you can say. And he drank that drink out of that kid's cup. You know what I mean? He drank that fucking drink.
I'm pretty sure he got
like,
served it all night.
He was like, I want a fucking Jack and Coke, even if it is in a sippy cup.
I mean, what else are you going to fucking say, man?
Nothing.
That's what 4 years at the Kilt does to you.
Oh, yeah. It's
savage.
Yes. I mean, because you're dealing with the worst of the worst. You're dealing with, that's the place I had at the sports bar. I had that lady grab my arm. And I was like, what? And she was like, this won't fit my koozie. Because she ordered a PBR, and I brought her a draft PBR. And she's
that ain't going to fit in your koozie either, bitch.
Please don't ever touch me again. Secondly, why the fuck do you have a koozie? It's a PBR. It ain't that big of a deal. Like, damn, lady. I was so just like, what? That's wild. Dude, we had a person come
I picture, was she slimy?
Oh,
I feel like this was
why
a
is your
slimy.
hand
Really
so
clammy.
Yeah. Yeah, you're like, I know you were just in the bathroom and you definitely didn't wash your hands.
Like toddler's hands.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was about to say toddler hands, like my little nephew's paws. You're like, why are you
this won't
sticky?
fit my stained koozie.
This won't fit my koozie.
Just covered in cigarette tar.
Oh, yeah. You're like, your aura is a menthol. You know? Like,
And not even a good one.
No, the cools. It's probably... like, you are the human version of tobacco swag. You are the human version of a Marlboro Letterman jacket, you know?
Rusty.
You're a Marlboro tent of a person.
You're a Marlboro Mag Light.
Because you're huge and a lot of people could fit in.
Man, that place was awesome. You would also see at this place, you would see a lot of young women who had boyfriends that were making some questionable decisions.
A lot of questionable
And
decisions.
and then their boyfriends would come in and you're like, don't put me in this position. At this point, I think it's a public health hazard.
For everybody in here. I mean, there were only like 6 men in the entire building?
Dude.
The odds were in your favor, man.
I mean, we had one girl that worked there that gave a guy chlamydia twice. Just like, damn, dude.
Can you at least take your meds?
Burn me once, shame on me. Burn me twice, I don't ever want to pee. And I will say, dude, I went to that girl's apartment, not to fuck her. I knew her roommate. But I went to the bathroom. In her bathroom, the dirtiest bathroom I have ever seen. There was footprints
Well, that's where she
her
got it.
little black shower was. Like, she had a shower ring, but there was white footprints where she stood. And I'm like, yo, that is a disgusting human. And her roommate got so mad at me. And then she gave that dude chlamydia twice. And I was like, I deserve an apology. Like, that girl
And
was
y'all are mad at me?
arguably disgusting. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, some questionable decisions were being made.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I made a few of those bad ones.
Oh, yeah.
So what's up with this Christmas party? Because I don't know if I remember this.
All right, yeah, let's get right into it because this is my favorite story. This is my favorite one. So we had a Christmas party. Let me set the scene. So we had a Christmas
I'm
party.
nervous.
Now, these people, they owned 2 of these places. This was the second one. We were the little brother one. But ours was bigger. So they decided, when they described this to me, I knew what was going to happen. I was like, oh, no. Like, that's on paper, that's arguably bad. So we had a Christmas party at this place. And both bars meet at our place, right, in Kennesaw. And so they just have an open bar. They don't have, like, a certain amount of things you can drink, no drink tickets. It's just an open bar, and they just let it loose. So, dude, everybody is just getting fucked up. Like, it is just to a point to where I'm looking around like, this will end poorly. Then one of the bartenders shows up, mind you, to an open bar, and she has a handle of Fireball. Immediately, I was like, I got to keep an eye on her. You know what I'm saying? Like, she ain't coming to have fun. She's coming to fuck shit up. Like, she is coming to fuck shit up. A handle of Fireball, you're coming with baggage, babe.
Uh-huh.
So she's sitting there, and we're all outside at this patio. At this time, everybody is super lit. So she's sitting there. We had a really young manager, and he was kind of this Fabio-looking dude. And he's sitting at the bar, and she's like, you're not even going to look at me? And he's like, I will call her M. He's like, M, don't do this. Please don't do this. And she's like, what? What? You're not even going to look at me? You're not even going to look at me? You don't want to look at me in front of these people? And he's like, please don't do this. And everybody at this point is like, quit talking and is looking over. And she's like, this motherfucker. He's like, please don't do this.
Please don't.
And she's like, he fucked me. And we had sex, and then he made me get an abortion. And he's like, that is not what fucking happened. And now everybody at the place is like, whoa, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, she just dropped the bomb. And he's like looking over, he's like, that's not what happened. You know that's not what happened. She's like, fuck you, I hate you. And then I see her get up, and I'm like, oh, no. I've seen that look before. She had that wet mouth, you know what I mean? Like, so she jumps up from the bar, and you can immediately tell, like, oh, no, she's going to throw up. So she starts running towards this door, and it's this glass patio door, and she goes to push it. It's a pull. So she just slams into this door, dude. Bam! And as she hits the door, she projectile vomits into the glass door that then ricochets into her face, right? So now she's in complete fight or flight. So she tries to make a move, and then she slips on her own vomit and Scooby-Doo style slams onto her back. Meanwhile, that's not a very funny story. That's a sad story, but she was in an elf costume the entire time. Like, so she's
don't forget this is a Christmas story.
Yeah, she's in an elf costume the entire time, like the one from Elf. Like, it was so. I was like, and then never forget it. Can't even make it up. My manager, as she they're trying to clean her up, they get her inside. He looks over at everybody, the guy that wasn't involved, and he looks over at me and he goes, She was an angry little elf. I was like, dude. I was like, do not say that any louder or to anybody else. Like, that is hilarious, but we just watched a woman completely deteriorate right before our eyes.
I want to evaporate into thin air just seeing this.
Dude, then one girl just was at the bar and then completely lights out, just blacked out, and this dude caught her, and he like picks her up like wedding style, and he's like, everybody's staying at this hotel next door. He goes, it's okay, I'll take her next door. Everybody's like,
like,
no,
oh,
whoa,
I don't
whoa,
think
whoa.
that's a good idea.
Absolutely not, dude. Drop the passed out girl right now, Bill Cosby. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I'll never forget, the owner never really talked to me. He looks over and he's like, standing at the bar. It's a shit show. I mean, there was a dude passed out underneath the urinal. Like, in a Santa outfit underneath the urinal, and nobody was helping him. And I was like, I'm not helping him. He's covered in piss. You know,
The real
like,
question is were people just coming in and pissing over him?
I think so. Because there was only the urinal in the stall, and everybody was doing blow in the stall. So I'm sure people were trickling down on him, dude.
And just think about how common it is for people. Like, you can just walk into a bathroom at a Christmas party, and your manager's just in there doing blow with, like, 6 employees.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a homeless guy probably.
Yeah.
Who just showed up
just
at your
doing
party.
blow off the girl that just passed out. You're like, guys, will you fucking clean it up? Jesus Christ. No.
Are you trying to send people to prison with this
No,
podcast?
I was just kidding. That's a great.
I didn't think we dropped any names here.
No, and I'm just kidding. That's just a funny scenario. No, but that dude did scoop her up, and everybody was like, absolutely not, dude. No, but my owner's standing next to me, and he's like, do you drink whiskey? I was like, yeah, man. And he's like, you ever had Johnny Walker Blue? I was like, yeah, one time. I only got a sip. So he pours these fat glasses of it, and he goes, cheers, man, because I don't know how much longer I'm going to own this place. And that is when I first had Johnny Walker Blue.
Brutal honesty.
It was rough. Like, I'll never forget that time. That was just a Christmas party where I wasn't even really drinking. I was smoking more. So I was just watching it like, this is out of
It's a train wreck.
control. Then there was that time that we had to work on Thanksgiving, and nobody came in, and only the saddest of people came in. So everybody was like, I can't do this. Like, this is miserable. Like, this is the most depressing. Like, oh, it was awful. So we're like, fuck that. We'll drink it away. So everybody started drinking. And that's when John had the slap contest in the back where he was letting people just come back there and slap him in the face. Dude. At the time, it was hilarious, but when we had to watch it back on camera, you're like, yeah, that's pretty out of control. Like, he also popped a girl with a towel on the ass, and I remember he popped her, and I was like, whoa, that was hard. I heard it. I was like, damn. And then later on, like maybe 20 minutes later, I saw her around the corner. She had her shorts pulled up, and her friend was taking a picture of her ass cheek of the bruise, and I was like, ooh, John, you're in trouble, Bubba. Like, you are in trouble. Like, that shit's coming down the tracks.
What? It wasn't too much longer later. He was out of state.
Yeah. I'm like, bro, she's never rolling silverware again. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's getting out of side work forever.
You're indebted.
But me and him were like wrestling, and I remember we broke a table, and we were wrestling, and at the time I was like, that wasn't that bad. And then the next day we walk in the office, and they're like, hey, what the fuck? And they just showed a video, and you're like, that looks real bad. Now that you're showing me on camera, that is terrible. That was Thanksgiving was. Then that was the time that the girl, she posted on Instagram, the little redheaded girl that was, I think she was like 19 or 20, but she was like, everybody was like partying, and she posted on Instagram, I was like licking her head, and it's like, because we're all in this picture, like in this big group picture, and I wasn't licking her head, but I had my tongue out like at her head, and it said, tastes like ginger snaps. And everybody was like, that's hilarious.
I need to see this.
Not even 30 minutes later, this dude shows up at work, and he's like in the fucking front of the restaurant, like, you're up here taking pictures with boys? Everybody was like, bro.
Oh, shit.
Go home. She was mortified. He's like, come on, we're leaving. She's like, nah, I'm good. And it was like, oh, no.
Dude, you'd be in there, and, like, some of the characters that you would work with, you'd be sitting there and be like, how have you functioned this long walking on Earth?
Yeah.
And not died?
Yeah.
Because there's, like, a 30-year-old girl over here with, like, a 4-year-old, a 2-year-old, and probably, a 6-year-old. She's still breastfeeding.
Yeah.
And just having a casual conversation, and Keegan's looking back at me and like, That's
Real
normal?
Walmart employee energy, you're saying?
Oh, all day long.
Okay.
All the
gotcha.
Kmart, in fact.
Kmart. Oh,
yes,
wow.
90s
Okay.
Kmart.
Yeah, 90s Kmart.
With the little Caesars up front.
Yep.
In the end days
Yeah.
when it was all falling apart.
Yep. No. Yeah, that place was wild. But yeah, I'll never forget that guy showed up like 20 minutes later, and then she was like, "I'm not leaving." And I was like, "Damn, now you feel like a big dickhead." And then he tried to fight our manager. That was just like looking at him. Our manager was huge, and he's like, "Dude, don't lose your girlfriend and get your ass kicked." Like that is
All on the same day.
Yeah, because he was a big guy. I was like, "Oh, out of everybody you could have chose to fight, you're choosing that guy." Like, we just wrestled. He threw me through a table.
He's like 6'3". What are you
We
doing?
just wrestled. He threw me through a table and has been getting slapped for the last hour and a half. He's not the one you want to fight. He is on a wild one tonight.
He's
Yeah.
the obvious one you don't want to mess with.
No, not at all. Yeah, that was that was. I mean, that place was just crazy. It was just that was the place that they called me in the office one night, and it was late, and they're like, "We want to show you something on video," and I'm like, "What?" So I go in there, and I forget what the girl's name was, but they have a video of her, and she's walking in, and she's got a whole plate of glasses from this party, and they had closed, and this table stayed late, so she goes walking in with this plate of glasses, and she just eats it. Whole tray of glasses. Glass everywhere, slams, just a fucking mess, right? So she goes to get up, and as she goes to get up, she slips and hits her head on the fucking, on the kitchen line, and she goes down again. And then she goes to get up, and she's like slipping, and then you just see her walk out the back door. And I'm like, damn. He goes, so yeah, she quit, so I need help cleaning all this up. I was like, oh my God. I was like, we just saw somebody's lowest point of their life. Just they fell and then fell again. It's like an hour past close, and they're like, you know what? I don't need it. I don't need it.
I feel like that was your brother in a wig.
Oh, yeah. That's
Sounds about right from what I've heard.
Oh, man, dude. It's
Bless
just
him.
sometimes you have those nights. Dude, not even too long ago, 2 weeks ago, my last table on a Sunday, I spilled a whole glass of red wine on this guy. And I'm talking about all over him, but he used to work there. So I was like, thank fucking God. But when it hit him, I was like, oh, that's a full glass. That's the whole thing. It's just my tray wobbled. There's nothing you could do. And there's nothing you can say to that. There's
Yeah.
nothing you can say to that. You're just like,
It's
my
been a
bad,
minute
dude.
since I've did one
It's
of
been
those,
a long
and
time. And I think it's because I told that Blake story. As soon as I spilled it, my manager
Instagram.
goes, you deserve that. I was like, damn it, dude.
Instant.
I fucking manifested it through the podcast.
Mine was usually my mouth getting me in trouble.
Yeah?
I'm a
I've
little
seen
too feisty. I get myself in trouble. I don't know how to do anything but put my foot in my mouth 9 times out of 10.
What's your best mouthing off the customer story? Because I told one on the last podcast that's coming out soon, and about halfway through it, I just looked at Trent, and I was like, now that I'm telling it kind of sounds like I'm the bad guy. You know, I was like listening back, like, wait a minute. It's like a therapy session. You're like, now that I'm talking it out, I might have overreacted.
So I won't say mouthy. We all know I've got a problem. I've got a temper on me. There's been a couple times I've gotten a little physical.
Oh, nice. I like that.
So working in downtown Woodstock, this place isn't open anymore, but that was a pretty out-of-pocket place too.
Where was it?
Downtown Woodstock used to be the old train station down there.
Okay.
Like, I remember one time a girl drove her car on the railroad tracks, got it stuck, and then jumped out of it and tried to run from the cops. And they're just all standing there like, where are you going? She goes and hides behind a tree.
She went full Mortal Kombat. She went full Mortal Kombat hiding like smoke.
I'm talking about spinning tires on the railroad track, kicking pebbles,
Oh,
gravel,
my God.
all up
Downtown
on
Woodstock,
Yes.
like right there. Oh,
Yes.
you're going to jail. You're going to jail, babe. There's nowhere to run.
And all the cops are sitting here like,
And they're just waiting for something to do. That's crazy. You know, that's crazy because when I worked at I still work at Two Birds in Marietta, right there where Two Birds is and like a pie bar, I've seen 4 different cars take a right onto the railroad tracks. But what blows my mind is the distance that they drive down the railroad
Before they
tracks.
realize.
Yeah, it's like immediately when you drive on, it's like, what is going on that you're just, this is fine.
Ripping the whole undercarriage out of your car.
Like, this road fucking sucks, dude.
Damn potholes.
Cobb County needs to get it the fuck together, dude.
Where's the DOT
This is
at?
why you need to vote. Just
So bad.
And I used to think it was drunk people, but then we saw it. I mean, you'd see people in the middle of the day, and it would be like, and you'd say, oh, it's old people. No, there's like people in their 40s, probably on their phones. So what else?
I don't think
Downtown
there's an
Woodstock. I've heard
excuse.
crazy stories about downtown Woodstock. I've heard some wild stories from Truck and Tap. I've heard some just where you're like, you'd never think downtown
No.
Woodstock. You think Atlanta,
All these soccer
like,
moms.
yeah. You think it
Suburban.
would be
No. So I remember sitting back behind the bar one night, and I'm sitting there with my friend Kayla, and we have this like guy. He was kind of like a regular, not all that much. Nobody really liked him in the area, but we put up with him. One of those bar flies, you know. So he's sitting there, and he's like being kind of inappropriate with Kayla, and me and Kayla, we can handle our own. We'll sit there and talk shit with you all day long. And Kayla's like handling her own for the most part, and he's like, it turns around and makes some joke about her like sucking his dick or something like that. And she was like, dude, I would rather slit your fucking throat and drink every ounce of blood that you have to offer before I put my mouth anywhere near you. And so he runs his mouth a little bit more, and there's this fresh, like, 21-year-old dude sitting right next to him. And, you know, he's got to be the hero. Got to be the hero. Like, maybe a couple weeds, 21. Yeah. And he's like, hey, dude, she's being cool. You should be cool. So, next thing you know, homie's like, turns around, and he's like, wanting to square up to him. So, fresh 21-year-old is sitting here like, yo, is this really happening right now? Like, bless his whole heart. I don't think he had, like, ever been in a physical altercation in his life. Because the events that rolled after this. So he turns around and he squares up with him, and he goes to look his buddy over his shoulder, which was mistake number
never
one.
Look away. Never
because
look
homie
away.
took his advantage and just laid one on him and knocked, like, just... He lost consciousness.
We're talking
at this
about old
point.
man strength?
Old man strength, yeah. Maybe a little bit of like methamphetamines too.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, methy old man strength?
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
sorry.
we're sitting there and they're brawling, and Kayla's like screaming, hey, stop, no, stop, please, guys. And my instant reaction is to come over the bar. So my first right foot hits the sink.
Roadhouse style, dude. I love it. It's
Right
crazy.
right foot hits the sink, left foot hits the top of the bar. And the only thing I can think of, thanks to like the rowdiness of my family, is knees and elbows.
Yes. Grounded pound.
So as I'm coming over the bar, I'm coming right down on top of these two with my elbow, WWE style. You know what I mean? Right down in the middle of them.
The people's elbow. I'm giving them the fucking people's elbow in there. I like it.
And here we come, and we're all three on the ground, and they're still not even breaking it up. So my next thing is, all right, old guy's a jackass, obviously. So he's victim.
Yeah.
At this point.
Nope.
So I grab his head, and I'm just taking my knee to this man's face, like railing his face. And the next thing you know, he just bawls. He just starts bawling.
Yeah.
Well, other homies in a ball. So they're both just sitting here in a ball, and all I can do is just grab this man up and just start shoving him out the door.
Yeah.
Well, about 2 seconds later, you know, we're all sitting here like, everybody's pretty much cleared out at this point. I'm like, I need a cigarette. So I'm sitting here in the dining room smoking a cigarette with the owner. Because, you know, this man was just as out of pocket as I was. Because you never know. Like, this man will probably come out from the patio rolling a cigarette and just slip up behind somebody in a headlock and take him doing. Like, just as bad. So, you know, I knew my job was a little secure at this point.
Yeah, you're like, I'm not getting fired. This guy's a heathen.
Next thing you know, cops come in, and we're like, dude, you're about 10 minutes late.
Yeah.
Where were you? Like,
Party's over.
come back again another time.
I like the knees.
Oh, yeah.
Honey, that's a good move.
And this one right here, forehead.
Oh yeah.
Check out a man in
What's
New
that
Zealand.
song in elementary school? Knees, shoulders, knees, and toes. Yeah, they need to make that knees, shoulders, knees, elbows.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that I was like, wow, what a fucking dude. They say that one time.
Yeah, I do like your mosh pit approach to
Yeah, that's
fighting.
what I was saying. Just
absolutely.
full off the fucking off the top rope.
Mama tried, but she didn't raise no bitch. That's for sure.
See, in my mind, I was seeing mankind jumping off of Hell in the Cell. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was envisioning.
Oh yeah.
That's where I went with it mentally. I was seeing that. I was like, yeah, that's dope. That's the best. Yeah, that's bar fights are always sketchy. They're always sketchy.
I love them. Get me in there.
I know. When I worked the door, I was always like, dude. So my favorite though was one time we're at this bar and we're with these girls and we're in downtown Savannah, right? So we're with there's 3 or 4 of us and we're with this kind of group of girls. It's like my buddy's girlfriend's friends. So we're in this really packed bar and we can see it from a mile. We're like, these dudes are tourists. These guys live here. They're fucking over it. So we walk up to get our friend's attention and order drinks. Can't get her attention because she's trying to break up this whole thing. Next thing you know, these dudes start brawling. I'm talking about just all you see is just fists and just people broing out, just people broing down, getting punched, and all of a sudden my buddy just takes off into it. So this girl's like, "Oh my God, no! Is he gonna join the fight?" And you just see my buddy goes up and just starts grabbing beers and drinks. He goes, "Hell no, dude! They just ordered a whole round." And he comes running over with the drinks. He's like, "They already paid for these and they're getting kicked out."
Somebody's got to enjoy them.
Yeah, he's like, they paid and tipped on these. These are ours. I was like, good move, bro. Grabbing the fucking shots before the bar clears out. Good move. Never join in. We had a friend one time that was talking to a girl in Athens, and it was like his ex-girlfriend, and he was talking to her at the bar, and the bartender called him over, and he's like, what? And the bartender headbutted him, and he didn't realize it was the dude's girlfriend. Like, he didn't realize she was... So he got headbutted, and then on his way down, the bouncer came up and kneed him in the face, just completely cheap-shotted him. It was just like, damn, dude.
See, that's my favorite mood right there.
Yeah, I know. It's
Headbutt
just crushed.
somebody.
Oh, it crushed him. But it was like... That's why you got to be careful. You got to be careful in a bar. You never know. You never know. Especially when it's a tag team duo. I have a friend down in Savannah that teaches jiu-jitsu, and he bounces down there. And people will just want to fight him because he's a bigger guy. And he's like, listen... Let me tell you what's gonna happen. You're gonna come over here, and I'm just gonna grab you like a little baby, and I'm just gonna choke you out, and then I'm gonna carry you out of here.
And then that ego's gonna hurt for the next
he
like
teaches
6
jujitsu.
months.
It's like, you really think you're gonna wrestle this grizzly bear that has a black belt? Like, no fucking way, man. You stand 0 chance.
You're asking for it.
Yeah. Or the little bouncers are the ones you really gotta worry about.
It's the little people, period.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And how tall are you, in case people?
Probably 5'2", 5'3".
Yeah. That was my favorite part of that story. I was thinking about it. I was like, I don't know if they know that you're little bitty.
Yeah.
Just seeing you jump over that shit is hilarious. The mental image.
I thought you were just doing a Randy Newman reference. That was pretty stupid. My bad.
No,
38.
Nice. We're rolling right along.
Hell yeah.
I was trying to think any other stories from Arena. Oh, fuck. We did the whole podcast without saying the name.
38. What, 38?
Yeah, 38 minutes without saying the name.
So
and then
close.
immediately I'm like, fuck, I said it. No, fuck them. They know what they did.
They might still have a location open in Duluth.
Yeah, they know what they did.
Hold on. Can you say it again? I wasn't paying attention.
You have it up on the lower thirds. It like comes up at the bottom.
No, that's what I'm trying to do. I'll put it under. I'll replace both your Instagrams with that for the out.
Yeah, I want to write a book. I've been thinking about that. I want to write a book where I get everybody that I know together that's been servers and bartenders, and I want to write a book and just collect all the stories together. Call it 2 on 20. And 2 on 20. And then what we could do is arrange the chapters so that each chapter is like a different chapter of the night, like prep work, prep cooking, like rush. In the weeds, like
Silverware.
Do like a holiday version
Shifty.
where you tell, yep, you do all that. And then the bar afterwards, tell all those stories, dude. Because we would go out with people and it would just be outrageous. Like we would leave and I would take them to this bar, Ralph's in Kennesaw. Shout out to Ralph's in Kennesaw.
Mm-hmm.
But we were regulars there, so we go all the time. When I worked at this little bar, all these my coworkers would come and I'd have to tell them, hey, if you drink liquor, they're gonna hook it up. in a dangerous way. Like they're gonna fucking.
Dude, that's the worst part of having friends who work at your local bars that you frequent.
Yeah, we're gonna walk in. We're gonna get a shot.
You have to look at him and be like, dude, I'm telling you, a single. A single.
I'm watching you. I'm counting. If you go
Counting
over
too.
7, I'm pouring it out. But we went in there one time, and one of our friends she did MMA, so she was like, we'd always like as soon as we get drunk, we'd always be like, I'll fucking wrestle your ass to the ground. So we were talking shit the whole way from the bar to the house, and I was just in the front seat like, oh, you think you could get me? Like, girl, I'll jump out here and Bruce Lee the shit out of you. Like, just going through the whole thing. Dude, we got out of this car, and she kicked me like Joe Rogan kicked me like in the side of my leg. It felt like somebody hit me with a baseball bat. I dropped immediately to the ground and was like, do not touch me again. Like that. Tiramisu, that's my safe word. Do not touch me again. That hurt so fucking bad, dude. I could not believe it. And it just the whole time I was like, dude, if she did that to your chest, she might stop your heart like that dude in the NFL. Like that shit would be done for you. Like wraps.
My buddy thought he was going to get me with a towel the other day, like
Oh,
old restaurant
towel pop?
style.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
That's classic. That's a classic grab
Yeah,
ass.
but like I've been perfecting mine since like I was like 11, man. You really want to
brothers?
do that? I shredded a brand new rag on this poor man's ass cheek. Shredded it.
If I go get a rag, will you do it to Keegan?
Just be in here
on the
Indiana
show.
Jones and
Yeah, Keegan, do you agree to that?
no, that shit hurts.
No, I know.
When was the last time you got popped with a towel? And the restaurant towels are short and sweet.
Those ends.
Oh,
that
the
corner
ends,
piece.
they got the fucking corner. You know exactly what I'm talking about. What color do y'all have on the stripe? What color is it?
Orange.
Yeah, that's us too.
It's the one that's shredded.
Yeah, that's the one that hurts.
Catch that corner perfectly.
Yeah. Maybe even dip it down a little sanitizer.
Oh,
I don't
yeah.
want when I bust your skin open. I don't want you getting infected.
Oh.
I want to make sure the towel's clean so I can keep doing it. You know, I don't need to be getting no. I have seen some hand. Dude, we had one kid in high school. He had 4 older brothers, and he was the youngest. And they would try to terrorize him, like the seniors. And I was like, don't fuck with that one, man. That dude's got 4 older brothers. Like,
He's been hazed his
yeah, I
entire
was like,
life.
dude, he's gonna snap. Like I do not recommend it. And then one time they popped him with the towel, and we had these like big lockers, right? They popped him with the towel, and when they popped him, he just started laughing like the Joker. He just was like,
That's the crazy eye.
Idiots. And he fucking took a towel out and he tied it around his hand. And then he held it like a thing and he started fucking spinning. He goes, y'all have made a mistake. I got 4 older brothers. Dude, he started running through and he could pop it and then bring it back like a whip because of the way that he tied it. Dude, he started chasing people through the locker room, just I was like, ow, okay. I was like, I fucking told y'all, man. I fucking told y'all. That was the kid that like would do anything for money. So they fucking dared him one time to drink a water bottle full of dip spit, and he took a big old chug of
Oh,
it.
no.
Yeah, that guy. See, I watched that, and I remember he had to go home. I was like, no shit, he had to go
No.
home. They're like, he's sick. I'm like, yeah. He drank a swallow of dip spit that had been sitting in the locker room for weeks on end. I'm like, oh my God.
That's
dude.
making my stomach turn.
That's
just
the
thinking
sickest
about
you'll
it now.
ever be is dip. It is so bad. I've come close with the Zen pouch.
Oh, I've done it.
Oh,
I've done
really? You
it.
dipped?
Oh.
What'd you dip? What kind?
Oh, no. I've dipped a few times. Depends
What-
on how drunk
really?
I am. Dude, my family's from the hills.
I love it.
They do snuff for fun. They're over here like
nice.
seeing how far they can spit it. Like crazy old women.
I love that. I know.
Yeah.
My grandmother used to have a little spittoon, or my great grandmother had like a spittoon. Like that's a fun thing just to have in your fucking living room.
Oh,
A
they're
fancy
crazy.
bucket of spit. Just what the fuck,
Yeah.
man? Spittoon is just right up there with like a handkerchief. Like dog, you
Man,
just have
people
a,
used
a
to be
snot rag
savages.
in your fucking jacket pocket. Like throw it away. You're just snotting in like a fucking bandana.
Dude,
Disgusting.
So bad. Like stain just
Oh,
right down
man.
the chin.
that's when you know you're doing it. That's like a damn Tyler Childers song.
Mm-hmm. Dude, the women in my family were crazy matriarchs. Like,
Isn't that crazy that like snuff was a big thing with women? That was like a big woman thing. It's crazy. I've never done it. The sickest I've ever
badasses.
been is from tobacco though.
Mhm.
Dip got me. The first time I ever dipped, I was at a church camp, and it was Copenhagen straight. And
Of course,
we
it was
were,
a church
yeah,
camp.
Yeah, church camp. So we're in these little like dorm rooms, right? So we had the windows up, and everybody has the windows up. We're like yelling and screaming. So we're just sitting in there dipping. You know, when you take that first dip, you're spinning. It's like the gravitron. Like I am on the ride.
And no one told you not to swallow, right?
That's not even it. I was spitting. I was doing good. All of a sudden, we're sitting there on the front door. I panic, swallowed the whole thing. Because I'm like, I like panicked. I was like, and it's a camp counselor that's like, open up right now. He's like, y'all are throwing shit out the window, open up. And we're like, what? It was the people above us were throwing bottles out the window. So they open up
They
the
got
door.
y'all busted.
They open up the door to be like, no, man, we're not throwing anything. We're just sitting there. And he's like, listen, I've gotten reports. Y'all need to close your windows. And is he okay? And I'm just sitting on the bed like, just immediately, like pouring sweat, dude. I was
really
dying,
need to go
bro.
vomit.
I was green. I was like that Oscar the Grouch, bro. I looked just like him. I was just
Bless
sitting in my
it.
trash can just wanting to throw up. So then they're like looking at me like, do not throw up in front of this guy. So immediately after he closes the door, I just start projectile vomiting into like one of those little dorm room trash cans. Dude, I proceeded to lay on this tile floor of this bathroom crying, telling them, please call my mom. And they're like, we're not calling your fucking mom. I'm like, I am so sick.
You're being a bitch. Pull
There
it
was
together.
nothing that made it feel better, though. Nothing. Like, nothing made it feel better. Like, when you're that sick from tobacco, you're just nauseous. Like, just so sick. Then another time that I got sick from tobacco was when my brother was 18. I was, like, 14. So it was cool. He would take me to, like, the tobacco shops when you get, like, a cigar or something. And I remember he got beaties. You ever seen beaties? They're like little mini cigars. They look like little blunts that are rolled up like cigarettes. Well, I had no idea that beaties are like supposed to be smoked over an hour and a half, like a cigar. Well, we fucking smoked them like cigarettes. So they're like this highly concentrated nicotine that you're not even, I don't even know if you're supposed to inhale them. I remember smoking one, just chiefing it down, being a kid, and just getting so sick and throwing up in the toilet. My brother just sitting there being like, hey, don't get me in trouble. Like, mom's coming home. Yeah, they're like these little minis. They're like a cigarette.
Oh, yeah.
But
I remember those.
They're so strong. And I was just a kid. And I smoked it and got so sick. So sick. That's a bad feeling when you're sick as a kid and you know nobody's going to help you.
Because you can't tell nobody. You can't rat yourself out.
Nobody's going to help you. They're like, hey, quit dying. You're going to get us in trouble. Like, dude, somebody's dad's going to find out.
Over here puking up blood, about to burn the house down.
Yeah, struggling.
Don't tell mom.
We had a friend that almost died at Brooks and Dunn of alcohol poisoning. Like, what a terrible time that would have been, to die to boot scooting boogie. Just out on the lawn. You fucking overdosed the boot scooting boogie. Like, damn, bro.
What a way to go.
That is the way to go. At the time, arguably, that would have been the best way to go for me.
Beautiful.
Well, this has been fun, man. Time flew by, I feel like.
Dude, it's been real fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having
We'll
me.
have you again. You'll come on again. We'll do, we like to have reoccurring guests. But
Oh, yeah.
you got anything coming up? You want anybody to go see you anywhere? You want to plug your work or no?
Hey, I love my job.
Yeah,
I love my
You
job.
don't have to. But thank you. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Happy Friday. Bye.
Happy